How you doing, everybody? This is your friend James Rotondi, aka Roto, coming at you from East Nashville, Tennessee, and welcome to Roto's Acoustic Dojo, courtesy of your friends at Acoustic Guitar magazine. A couple issues ago, I reviewed a lovely new, very compact amplifier from Boss for acoustic guitar, the Boss Acoustic Singer Live LT. And got a huge kick out of this thing on so many levels, and I wanted to bring it to you today so you could hear some of the sounds and you could get a quick sense, because it doesn't require a long explanation of what's to offer here. I'll start by saying this thing is light. It's 22.5 pounds. That's hardly backbreaking in a world of sometimes very, very heavy acoustic amps. It's as compact as many of those fine compact amps that cost many times more. And it's also a mini PA system, because you can plug your microphone in right here and you've got pretty much everything you need for a small gig. Any house gig, basically. Any living room gig, you're golden with this thing. Start to get into bigger rooms, it's not a question of power. This thing's got 60 watts, bi-amped 60 watts, so you're powering both a 6.5-inch and a 1-inch speaker. But just because of the size of those speakers, at some point you're going to start bottoming out a little bit, and that's okay. That's a perfectly reasonable limitation to an amp this size. But again, any house gig you're going to do, any house concert, etc., it's going to be fine, and it's going to be super useful as a monitor for those bigger gigs, and direct recording out, USB out in the back. You can easily send your mix, and again, this is a mix because you've got effects on board here, and you've got some nice compression and preamp sort of built in, so you can send a pretty nice sound either directly to your recording console or to the house with this as well. So again, here the deal with this thing is simplicity. It's light, and let me just give you a very quick introduction to the controls. For the guitar channel, for instance, you've got a very simple bunch of controls here. You've got volume, bass, middle, and treble. Pretty simple. Depending on your guitar, in my case, a Taylor 114 CE for this particular demonstration. I'm scaling back the middle a little bit and the treble, just because Taylors can be a little bright. This is a fairly bright Taylor. I've even got the treble down on the Taylor, and to find that mellower tone, I'm still scaling those back. But that changes on the guitar. My Larrivee, for instance, kind of sits in the middle. I have a Gibson acoustic that kind of wants to have a little bit of extra treble on top and maybe cut the bass a little bit, whereas with this one, bass is about at noon. But at any rate, very simple controls. And then for the guitar, you've got a smart effects dial. And what does it do? Well, at the bottom of the throw, you've got delay and chorus, basically. Bottom of the delay throw, you've got a slap back. You can hear that, right? Little slap back. As you go further up the throw on the delay side, you get a little more of a slap back. But that's where it starts turning into 8th note and 16th note delay. You got it? As you get to the very top of the delay throw, they're going to get a little longer. Now you can start playing with some rhythmic delays. Chorus, I find it really useful at the bottom of the throw. For a very light chorus, and then I find it rather useful at the top of the throw, where you get a little more of a kind of a Leslie effect, or a stronger. In the middle, honestly, like a lot of choruses that are in amps, I find it gets maybe a little, I don't know, a little hollow, a little nasal for me. It's not a sound I love, but I find it pretty useful at either end of that throw. Again, on the guitar channel 2, you have a dedicated reverb, so you can go from nice and dry. Sorry, let's get that effects off. Nice and dry, or middle. That's sort of a lighter one. This is sort of the middle of the throw. more of a hall. If you scale it back a little, maybe more of a, yeah, kind of a room sound, right? Okay, and then, you know, right at the top of the throw, you know, sometimes reverbs on amps, maybe they're not, you know, the most studio-approved reverbs. It can get maybe a little steely up there. That said, why not? Not too bad, actually. It's got a bit of a real room reflection vibe, I'll say. I think Boss did a pretty good job with this. By that, not too bad at all, right? Now, as well as having this wonderful guitar channel, you've got phase and acoustic resonance. Now, I have both on right now. Why? Well, at lower volumes, room volumes, I find the acoustic resonance gives you a nice boost in the low mids that kind of fills out that lower mid-range on your guitar, and that's where a lot of warmth lives. Because if I take it off, I'm sorry, there's a couple different types of acoustic resonance. There's a light, sort of medium, and heavy. Now, I like the light one. It's about all I feel I really need. Sorry, let's go back to this. It starts to get a little too aggressive for me as you get to the red, but that's what it's for, really. So I don't think that's a big issue depending on what you're after. I like the green. It's kind of a lighter thing. It just, again, fills out those lower mids, adds that little bit of warmth, right? Which is a nice thing. That said, when you got this thing at a higher volume level, I would probably suggest avoiding the acoustic resonance because you really don't need it at higher volumes. You're going to get those nice warm mids anyway. The phase I just like. I find with the phase on, the sound spreads out a little bit. It gets a little grainier. Almost sounds a little more vintage to my ears. So again, with this amp, you've also got a nice vocal channel. And the vocal channel is pretty sweet. Again, at higher volumes, you may run into some distortion, especially if you have both the guitar and the vocal going through this together. But again, for a room gig, you got to be kidding me. For a room gig, this thing is kind of amazing. I mean, I got the news that made me more mine. I got the news that tell me all the time. Yeah. You can get the Elvis slap. Again, if you want to turn the effect up a little bit, now you can get more of a, you know. I never meant to cause you any sorrow. And it's got echo too. What does the echo mean really compared to delay? It's a bit warmer. It's a bit more of a vintage. Bop, and again, starts with the slap, and then goes out to this kind of nice, oh, yeah, mama, tell me what I'm gonna do. Tell me, baby, not a bad sound at all. I mean, you can live with that. One more thing, it's got a nice anti-feedback notch. I've got it set to where I like it for this guitar, and I'm not hearing a lot of brash mids that seem like they want to feedback, so I would say in this case it is definitely working. So that's the Acoustic Singer Live LT, excuse me. Price is well affordable. The sound is really great. It's killer for, you know, living room hangs like this, hotel rooms on the road, or really anytime you want a little extra inspiration. Because sometimes sitting there with your acoustic in a bare room, sitting on the couch, no extra reinforcement for the sound. You know, you can write some great songs that way. Perhaps some of the great songs have been written that way. But there's nothing wrong with a little extra juice both with your voice and with your guitar to kind of take you to a new place where maybe you feel a little bit more like you're in a live performance scene, if you know what I mean. Not a bad thing at all. I've enjoyed hanging with you. I hope you've enjoyed hanging with me. This is the Boss Acoustic Singer Live LT. Very affordable, very compact, reasonably light at 22.5 pounds, and a great investment. Again, USB and direct recording outs if you want to go directly to your DAW or to a live PA. What else can be said? Enhanced control for the vocals is also super useful. Again, at higher volumes you really don't need it, but at lower volumes like this, adds a little bit of punch. All right, and compression, I should add. All right, man, it's good hanging with you. Hope you enjoyed this. Be well. This has been the Roto Acoustic Dojo here at Acoustic Guitar Magazine, bringing you the Boss Acoustic Singer Live LT. This is Roto out.